Wednesday, it's week 11, part 3. We will have 11 games here, 3 for Wednesday. Of course, the remaining 8 will be for Saturday. We'll get through all 64 by the end for the next 3 days, as we're going to do week 11 in 6 parts. So this will take about halfway through the card for this week. So before we get underway, just a couple things. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Free college football picks are updated all season long. Free picks every day from all the major sports. We also have NFL, NBA, college basketball, NHL, European football, and more. It is a good time to subscribe. And also, if you would support our channel, give us that thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Then visit Tony'sPicks.com, our multi-capper site showcasing top cappers in our industry. Click the links to the hot cappers and get signed up to some of our long-term passes. You'll see some of our hot cappers up there, like Tiffany, Nick, Ramon has been on fire. I've been really great in college football and NFL here the past 30 days. So click the link and get signed up to one of our long-term passes. You'll find our premium picks here at the center of the page. You'll find our best bets as well. Our $15 premium picks, where each capper can designate one of their picks from their card as a $15 pick, just to showcase their service to new and existing customers. Also, our 3-packs are a great value as well. So give a click and get signed up. Also, our pick ticker in the center screen. If you're looking for our picks here, a la carte, you can check those out as well. Also, our promo code, you can save 20% off all premium pick packages. When you use that promo code TonyT at checkout, you can access our page by clicking the link in the description, then the All Cappers tab, and get signed up. Also, love to hear from you guys, so post your picks in the comments below. We are looking for cappers, so you can apply over at Tony'sPicks.com in our footer section, and our podcast, Every Picks in podcast form. Check us out at Tony's Picks, available on all major platforms. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get this one started. Buffalo versus Central Michigan. College football pick here for Wednesday. Buffalo fell to 5-4 with their 45-24 road defeat at Ohio. Bulls gained a season low 260 yards with 22 rushing on 28 carries. Defensively, they surrendered about 4.5 yards per rush with 317 passing on 29 attempts. Cole Snyder, a season low 51% completions with 4.9 yards per attempt. This season, Snyder at 59% completion rate with 14 touchdowns and 6 picks. Central Michigan improved to 3-6 after their 35-22 road win at Northern Illinois. Chippewas gained 451 yards with 245 rushing on 54 rushes. Defensively, they limited NIU to nearly 5 yards per attempt with 158 passing on 33 attempts. Daniel Richardson, 59% completions in victory with 6.8 yards per attempt. He threw for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. This season, Richardson, a 56% completion rate, career low, 6.2 yards per attempt. Chippewas at home holding teams just 2.9 yards per rush and puts tremendous pressure on opposing quarterbacks with 5 sacks a game. At home, they've been good getting off the field on third down. Bulls surrendering 3 sacks per game on the road. Play here will be Central Michigan -1. Kent versus Bowling Green. College football pick. This one goes off here on Wednesday. Kent fell to 3-6 with their 27-20 home defeat to Ball State. Golden Flashes gained 408 yards with 225 rushing on 50 attempts. On defense, Kent surrendered 5 yards per attempt on the ground to Ball State with 254 passing on 41 attempts. Colin Schley completed 61% with season low 4.5 yards per attempt. He had 183 passing yards and a touchdown on the season. Schley, a 60% completion rate, 7.9 yards per attempt. Bowling Green improved to 5-4 after their 13-9 home win to Western Michigan. Falcons offense gained 291 yards with 130 rushing on 32 attempts. Over on defense, Bowling Green allowed nearly 4 yards per rush to WMU with 191 passing on 27 attempts. Matt McDonald, a season high, 74% completions with only 5.2 yards per attempt on the year. McDonald, 60% completion rate, 16 touchdowns, 3 picks, 6.6 yards per attempt. 3 straight wins for the Falcons, holding teams to 271 yards and 13 points per game over that period. McDonald has been accurate the past 2 games. Now, Kent defense on the road giving up 478 yards, 4.2 yards per rush, 300 passing yardage with 8.5 yards per attempt. The play here will be Bowling Green at plus the 2.5. Northern Illinois versus Western Michigan. College football pick. This one is on Wednesday. Northern Illinois fell to 2-7 and out of bowl eligibility with their 35-22 home defeat to Central Michigan. Huskies posted a season low 316 yards with 158 rushing on 33 carries. Defensively, NIU gave up over 4.5 yards per rush to the Chippewas with 206 passing yards on 27 attempts. With injuries and ineffectiveness at quarterback, the Huskies started fifth-string freshman quarterback Nevin Kromoscoli, who completed 39% with 4.8 yards per attempt. He threw for 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. With NIU out of bowl contention, we may see more of this freshman here. Western Michigan fell to 3-6 with their 13-9 road defeat at Bowling Green. Broncos gained 318 yards with 127 on the ground on 36 attempts. Defensively, they surrendered 4 yards per carry to the Falcons with 161 passing on 31 attempts. Trayson Bourget, 59% completion rate with 7.1 yards per attempt on the season. Bourget, a 53% completion rate and 5.2 yards per attempt in his 2 starts this season. Quarterback situation shaky on both sides. Play here will be Northern Illinois and Western Michigan under 50. Northwestern versus Minnesota college football pick action on Saturday. Northwestern fell to 1-8 with their 21-7 home defeat to Ohio State. Wildcats gained only 285 yards with 206 rushing on 59 carries. Defensively, they allowed nearly 6 yards per rush to the Buckeyes with 76 passing on 26 attempts. Brendan Sullivan's 71% completion rate with 5.6 yards per pass attempt in defeat. He threw for only 79 yards on the season. Sullivan, 73% completion rate, 5.8 yards per attempt. Minnesota improved to 6-3 with their 20-13 road win at Nebraska. Golden Gophers gained 300 yards in this one with 125 rushing on 45 attempts. Tanner Morgan exited the game with an upper body injury. This season, he is completing a career-high 67% completions, 8.7 yards per attempt. Sophomore Ethan Kalikmanis completed 50% in relief with 11.5 yards per attempt on the air. Kalikmanis, 44% completion rate, a touchdown, 3 picks, 8.8 yards per attempt. Quarterback situation not good for either team. Expect a lot of running in this game. The play here will be Northwestern and Minnesota under 41.5. Appalachian State versus Marshall college football pick. This one goes off here on Saturday. Appalachian State dropped to 5-4 with their 35-28 road defeat to Coastal Carolina. The Mountaineers gained 367 yards with 88 rushing on 27 carries. Defensively, App State allowed over 4 yards per rush to the Chanticleers with 284 passing on 27 attempts. Chase Bryce completed 68% in the game with 10 yards per attempt. He threw for 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Marshall improved to 5-4 after their 12-0 road win at Old Dominion. The Unreal Herd gained 387 yards with 298 rushing on 56 carries. Defensively, they stuffed the Monarch ground game to under 1 yard per carry with 198 passing on 46 attempts. Cam Fancher completed 52% with a season-low 3.6 yards per attempt. He threw for 89 yards and 2 interceptions. This season, Fancher, 58.5% completion rate, 5.9 yards per attempt. Quarterback situation, the concern for Marshall. Brees, much the best, and the difference here. The play here will be Appalachian State here at -1. Louisiana Tech versus UTSA college football pick Saturday. Louisiana Tech is 3-6 after their 40-24 home win to Middle Tennessee State. Bulldogs put up 446 yards with 135 rushing on 35 attempts. On defense, they allowed over 4 yards per rush to the Blue Raiders with 226 passing on 44 attempts. Parker McNeil only 42% completion rate with 8.6 yards per attempt. He threw for 285 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick on the year. McNeil, 57% completions, 8.9 yards per attempt. UTSA improved here to 7-2 with their 44-38 road win in overtime to UAB. Roadrunners produced 494 yards, 209 rushing on 43 carries. On defense, they allowed 5.5 yards per rush to the Blazers with 332 passing yards on 39 attempts. Frank Harris completed 71% of his passes, 9.2 yards per attempt. He threw for 285 yards and 4 touchdowns. Harris, the completion rate this year of 69%, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 8.6 yards per attempt. UTSA, a 6-game win streak. They moved the football for 494 yards at home. Louisiana Tech defense poor on the road, allowing 503 yards, 6.6 yards per rush, and 7.6 yards per pass attempt. Play here will be UTSA at minus the 18. New Mexico versus Air Force college football pick. This one is on Saturday. New Mexico falls to 2-7 with their 27-10 road defeat at Utah State. Lobos gained 258 yards with 216 rushing on 46 attempts. Defensively, the Lobos held the Aggies to under 3 yards per carry with 149 passing yards on 27 attempts. Miles Kendrick was benched. Now, Justin Holiday completed 7 of 18 for 42 yards in his second career start. Air Force, they improved to 6-3 with their 13-7 road win at Army. Falcons posted 324 yards with 226 rushing on 53 attempts. On defense, Air Force held the Black Knights here to just over 2 yards per rush. Zeke Daniels completed 46% of his passes, 7.5 yards per attempt, and an interception. On the year, Daniels 47% completion rate, 9.7 yards per attempt. At home, the Falcons averaging 470 yards with 380 rushing for 6.4 yards per attempt. Lobos defense on the road has given up 373 yards and 29 points a game. Just don't trust New Mexico to slow down this Falcons team in this road outing. The player will be New Mexico and Air Force over 37.5 points. Nebraska versus Michigan college football pick Saturday. Nebraska fell to 3-6 after their 20-13 home defeat to Minnesota. Cornhuskers produced a season low 267 yards, 146 rushing on 35 attempts. On defense, Nebraska allowed under 3 yards per rush to the Gold Gophers with 175 passing on 20 attempts. Casey Thompson missed practice and is doubtful with his injured elbow. Sophomore here, Chubba Purdy completed 37% in the loss, 2.6 yards per attempt on the season. Purdy, 44% completions, 3 picks, 2.5 yards per attempt. Logan Smothers also saw action, went 5-10 for 80 yards. Michigan moved to 9-0 with their 52-17 road win at Rutgers. Wolverines produced 433 yards, 282 rushing on 53 attempts. On defense, they held the Scarlet Knights to just 1 yard per carry, just over 1 yard per carry, 166 passing on 29 attempts. Quarterback situation, major concern here for Nebraska. The player will be Nebraska and Michigan under for the total of 51. Wisconsin versus Iowa college football pick. This one goes off here on Saturday. Wisconsin improved to 5-4 after their 23-10 home win to Maryland. Badgers gained at 355 yards in this one with 278 rushing on 46 attempts. Offensively, they held the Terrapins to under 3 yards a carry with 77 yards passing on 23 attempts. Graham Mertz, a season low 28% completions with 4.3 yards per attempt on the year. Mertz, 60% completion rate, career high, 8.3 yards per attempt. Iowa's 5-4 after their 24-3 road win at Purdue. Hawkeyes posted 376 yards in this one with 184 rushing on 35 carries. Defensively, Iowa held the Boilermakers to under 3 yards a carry with 168 passing yards on 43 attempts. Spencer Petras completed 56% of his passes in this one, 8.3 yards per attempt. He threw for 192 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the year, Petras, career lows here, 56% completion rate, 6.1 yards per attempt. Iowa offense has picked it up here, averaging 27 points per game here over their past 3 games. Badgers averaging 29 points and 340 yards. The play here will be Wisconsin, Iowa over 35. Charlotte versus Middle Tennessee State college football pick. This one is on Saturday. Charlotte 2-8 after their 59-7 home defeat to Western Kentucky. 49ers gained 384 yards with 161 on the ground on 47 attempts. Defensively, they allowed 7 yards per rush with 461 yards passing and 41 attempts. Chris Reynolds, 63% completion rate in the loss, 7.3 yards per attempt. Reynolds threw for 196 yards with a touchdown and a pick. This season, Reynolds a 65% completion rate, 8.4 yards per attempt. Middle Tennessee State fell to 4-5 with their 40-24 road win at Louisiana Tech. Blue Raiders posted 420 yards with 194 rushing on 44 attempts. On defense, they allowed nearly 4 yards per rush to the Bulldogs with 311 yards passing on 37 attempts. On the road, the 49ers are allowing 502 yards a game, 5.3 yards per rush, 9.3 yards per attempt. Blue Raiders at home allowing 414 yards with 283 yards passing with 7.4 yards per attempt. The play here will be Charlotte Middle Tennessee State over a total of 66.5. Maryland versus Penn State college football pick Saturday. Maryland fell to 6-3 with their 23-10 road defeat at Wisconsin. Terrapins gained a season-low 189 yards with 112 rushing on 41 carries. Defensively, they surrendered 6 yards per rush with 77 yards passing on 18 attempts. Talai Tagovailoa, season-low here, 43% completions with 3.3 yards per attempt. He threw for 77 yards with a touchdown and pick on the season. Tagovailoa, 70% completion rate, 8 yards per attempt. Penn State improved to 7-2 after their 45-14 road win here at Indiana. The Lions gained 483 yards in this one with 179 rushing on 49 carries. Eventually, they held the Hoosiers to under 2 yards per carry with 131 passing yards on 39 attempts. Sean Clifford completed 65% with season highs here, 10 yards per attempt. He threw for 229 yards with an interception. This year, Clifford, 63% completion rate, 8 yards per attempt. Weather impacted Terrapins' offense. At home, Nittany Lions moved the football for 459 yards, 4.7 yards per rush, 7.7 yards per pass attempt. Terrapins' pass offense on the road is posting 260 yards, 7.5 yards per attempt. Play here will be on Maryland and Penn State over 58. All right, that was our college football pick show here for Wednesday. As we covered Week 11, Part 3. We gave you 11 games there, 3 for Wednesday and 8 for Saturday. We're about halfway through our card. The next 3 days, we'll get you about 11, 10, and 10. So we've got, 31 more to go for this week, and we'll complete the card for college football for Week 11. Make sure you like and subscribe, set notifications. Visit Tony'sPicks.com for our best bets on our site. And, of course, stay tuned later on with more picks coming up here from NBA as well as college basketball.